game. Unaona? We can't compare ourselves na zile nchi zenye zimeendelea. We are African. We are Africans and Africa is our business. Unaona? Na whatever happens in Africa will be solved by Africans, not Europeans or whatever. So tribe is our game. In whatever may, whatever comes, hata nani akuje, we will consider his tribe.
All right. All right. Let's give Honorable Mwaura Helen time to speak. The topic of discussion is: do you feel like, if given a chance, Rigathi Gachagua can make a better president than William Ruto? That is the topic of discussion, please. Honorable Mwaura, are you there?
Okay, yes, I'm here. Let me first of all greet you all. Habari zenu. Before I speak anything, I want to ask Obange something. What is the meaning of the word tribal? Obange, if you are here, please answer me if you know the meaning of the word tribal. Because I will listen your point, but I can assure you, as a person who has been experienced, and I personally have been in a political journey, so I don't think what Obange trying to say, Ruto is not a tribal. Obange, I want to put you in some few questions. When some Luyaran, watu wa huko wa Ruyarad wanaitwa mikutano, does it mean hiyo si tribal? When Wajaruo, watu wa huko Kisumu, uelewa huko wakiitana huko, hiyo kumaanisha ni tribal? Anyway, what I can say about Rigathi, kazi ya Rigathi sahi ni opposition, because we must compare the two both sides. When he was in government and this time he's out of government. Some wonder he tried to perfornicate. He could not even to say that time. But as we speak now, he's unable to speak out. Because where he was at a pocket. So, Rigathi, he has wisdom. He has wisdom. But personally, I can assure you, can make a good leadership. He had knowledge, he had been in government from wakati ya Moi. That is my own opinion.
Mwaura, wakati wa Moi Rigathi alisaidia nchi na nini kama si kuua watu Komolo? Umesema he has been in government. Alisaidia Kenya na nini?
Nimesema from wakati alikuwa kwa serikali. Si alikuwa machio sijui madio na huko whatever hizo from hiyo wakati.
Okay, alifanya kazi gani isipokuwa kuiba chakula, kufanya nini? Alifanya kazi gani that you can really say that he can be a good leader, a good president?
Okay. Nikuulize kwa hii serikali from wakati ya Uhuru, from wakati ya nini ya from wakati hiyo yao ya kina Jomo Kenyatta tunao tumefika. Kuna president amewahi ati hatujawahi sikia ameua mtu?
No, Mwaura, umesema ati ulimuona akiwa anaserve this country. You understand, from wakati wa Moi. Sasa mimi swali ni kazi gani mzuri alifanya ili tuseme ati huyu akipewa uongozi wa president anaweza tufanyia kazi kama wananchi?
I'm speaking in terms of ideology.
Okay, what?
In terms of ideology.
Kuna swali ameniuliza.
Because now,
kuna swali Mwaura ameniuliza. Mwaura, hakuna wakati as in Raila amechea a meeting of only Luos. Reason being, whenever he's muscling his political base, kuna Tuoria ndani, kuna Waswahili ndani. So it's never about the Luos. I don't want to talk about other regions, whether they are tribal or not.
So nikuulize
But
kumalizia
Rigathi okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's give Greg in time. Let's give Greg in time to speak. Kindly mute your mic if you're not speaking. Obange mute, Mwahura mute. Grevin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Sorry.
Yeah, personally, I would say that having observed Gachagua, most people we knew about Gachagua after he was nominated or elected as the deputy president. And from at first, we used to somehow hate him because of his utterances and everything. But after he got out of government, and I can say that some of us, we can see that he is better. He's better than Ruto. Because the first thing is that Gachagua is a man who keeps promises. He can keep promises better than William Ruto.
You are saying that.
William Ruto wanted just to use people, and he's still using people for his own gains. And if he did not keep the promises that he made during elections, not only to the Mount Kenya people, but to the people of Kenya, and right now he's still making more promises, I think Gachagua is better. Keep quiet, let me finish. Let me finish, you will interject. Keep quiet.
What promise has Rigathi kept?
Rigathi was not the president. They kept promises with Ruto, which Ruto violated.
But
can I give you some of the promises? Can I name for you some of the promises? Ruto told us that they will not evict people without proper arrangement of relocating them. But they have done that. Ruto told us that there will be no extrajudicial killings, but they are killing. He's killing. Ruto talked so much about state capture. What is going on? State capture is now even high. So I can tell you something, my brother. Rigathi has more wisdom than William Ruto. William Ruto is a liar. He has lied to the people of Kenya, and he's still lying. He's now in Western Province, thinking that he's coming to lie to us the way he lied to the people of Mount Kenya, which is not going to work. Let me tell you today.
He's not a liar, he's a killer. He's killing young people. He's a bad person. And we have no time for that nonsense. 2027 is too late. We must put this person down, and that's the way it's going to be.
Ruto is not going to work.
And we are not going to sit here every day on internet talking about Ruto must go. It's about how in 1 second. Because
we are not going to the ballot in 2027 with these emotions. That's the reason why we are here today.
This is the problem we are having in Kenya.
That's the reason why we are here today.
The problem we are having in Kenya is about the language.
One minute, Latricia. 1 minute, okay. Grevin, Maliza, then Doglava, then Latricia,
Okay. What I was saying is that Ruto, sijui anaonanga watu ni wajinga. He thinks people wananga akili, like he thinks he can just the problem is that many people, they fear him. They can't tell him the truth because of the kind of man that he is. So Saya was saying that right now he's in Western Province trying to think that he will hoodwink us the way he did. Like unajua hata wajinga uwerevuka. Kuna mjinga unaweza danganya watu lakini huwezi danganya watu siku zote. And it's not going to work. I can tell you that one for free. It's just a matter of time.
Can I give you an example? Let me give you an example of a corn game in Western Province. He alileta bonus kwa watu wachache wa Mumias Sugar. When we have Butali Sugar, when we have West Kenya Sugar, when we have Nzoia Sugar, then he brought Sarai, the cartel, which means ilikuwa ni kama colonialism whereby tulikuwa tunaonyeshwa Biblia, but nyuma ya Biblia kulikuwa na bunduki inachukua mashamba. And that's what is going on. And Ruto thinks that we are fools. We are not fools, my friend. So me, I prefer Gachagua because Gachagua has told us even more that we didn't know. Like right now, he told us that he has told us to unite because all this time we have been used by Raila Odinga. He comes to us. You know, I've heard this guy saying that Raila cannot chair a meeting of Luos alone. But the problem, he cannot chair because Luos are few. He needs more numbers from other. He needs to deceive more communities to come to him so that he can chair a meeting of communities. He can't because he doesn't have numbers. So Gachagua has told us, like I am personally, he has told us Luyas one thing. We need to unite and come to the negotiating table as a community, not to be used by a certain person who comes and gains on our behalf. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dog Lover. Dog Lover, then we can give Latricia. Yeah.
Thank you. This is quite an emotive topic, but I want to say that Gachagua wouldn't make a good president. That one is a fact. You know, I support him, but that one, I don't give it to him. He wouldn't make, if I would, naweza kuwa na wapimanisha yeye na Ruto, I would say they are one and the same thing. They are politicians, they are not leaders. They are people who are just being directed by their own interests. And that said, Gachagua, just like they used Kenyans to hoodwink them and vote for them when they knew they were agendaless, they didn't have any plans for Kenyans. I would say Kenyans should use him now that he's available, because he's a match. He's a Ruto's match in terms of words and politics, but not leadership. So Gachagua na Ruto, they're one and the same thing. You cannot put them apart, and none is a good leader whatsoever. But so far, we are using him to make sure that he is able to counter Ruto's cheap politics, and he is able to put Ruto for who he is, so that Kenyans can see, and that's what we are using Gachagua for. There are stories that Gachagua is being lured to go back to UDA and work with the government, and you know these politicians are capable of anything. And I would promise you, even if he went back, maybe apewe bilioni ngapi arudi back, I don't think Kenyans, especially people from Mount Kenya, because I'm one of them, will not go with him. People are people here kwa media wanafikiria that Gachagua is inciting people from Mount Kenya, but that's not the truth. The people from Mount Kenya are inciting Gachagua so that he continue injecting. And that's it. And before I go, nilikuwa nataka kuongea kuhusu someone saying here that Mount Kenya people are tribal and so shameful. Ananiambia ati anasema ati anaitwa nani? Honorable Doreen, I don't know what you mean by tribal when we had two candidates who are supported by Mount Kenya people, Ruto and Raila, during 2022 elections. And when your guy decided that he will not be able to work with any other tribe apart from him, and Farouk and Nani, he made Nani aende nyumbani, because you know Ruto, I would say Ruto anakuanga na low self-esteem. He's not able to work with people with akili yenye iko juu yake hata kidogo. And I feel for Nani Badi, the CS. You can tell he's really trying to put his skills on the docket, anajaribu kabisa to make sure the economy is working. But with the time, you know, he'll be frustrated he'll be frustrated by kina Farouk na kina nani Murkomen and the other one wakapseret because he will not be able to finance their cheap politics. Mulisikia huyo wa Kapseret akisema he's able to line up people and give them 2,000 shilling each just to cause mayhem in Moy's Bridge. Kwa hivyo, we know people who can work, we know people who can lead regardless of their last name, but definitely not Gachagua or Ruto. Yeah, that's my point.
All right, thank you so much. Latricia, you have the mic, kindly.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brothers and my sisters. Good morning, good evening, everybody. Yeah, kitu nataka tu kusema ni hivi. Sitaki kusema ati ni kwa upande ya sijui Jaluo, Jeuri ama Kikuyu. The fact is that ukiangalia message za Gachagua akiongea so many times, 90%, yeye anaongea tu kuhusu, kama kuna interview amefanya jana majuzi, anasema yani hakuongea kuhusu Kenyans. You know, we as Gen Z ama mtu yoyote kutoka Kenya, we are talking about Kenyans. Hata kwa hii platform is about Kenyans, right? Lakini ukiangalia hata vile anaongea, yeye anasema hivi, nyinyi Waluya mkuna viewers nyingi kuchukua kura na hivi and this and that, which is not good. Sasa ukiangalia vitu kama hizo, it's not good for the country. Mtu ambaye anaongea tu kabila moja na popote anaenda, hata ile interview alifanya 1 month ago, he was only talking about mkipata Kikuyu na Luyas, we are done. Sika mnanielewa. So the thing is like this. Kama mtu anaongea kuhusu ukabila, na hata kama ametolewa, huyo hawezi kuwa popote, yani huyo mtu atakiwi. The other thing I want to go straight forward is that kabla hata hajatolewa, huyu Gachagua alikuwa anasema watu wa Bonda waende, watu wasijui nini waende. Okay, I don't want to go back in that way. Hii tabia ya kudhalilisha watu mtaani, yani kama umepatiwa kisu uongee, yani mtu anaongea utafikiri yani sisi si binadamu, which is very mean. Hiyo kitu because iliniuma hapa juzi, unasikia Oscar Sudi anaambia watu mimi naweza wapea hata shilingi 2,200. What is that? Alafu bado nasikia kuna binadamu wengine anampigia makofi, alafu anasema ati jamani tosha. Watu kama watu nafagia wote. Na me, I want to say something. It's not about Raila, it's not about anybody here. Kwanza mtu ambaye aleta sufuria, it was Raila. Lakini the thing is that kama kuna shida, tutoe takataka wote. Hakuna Gachagua, kuna ni Gachagua sahi anajibembeleza kwetu sisi ile apendwe ndio wachukue hao watu. Let me tell you guys, these people, they're all together. The end of the day, they're all together. I was in Mombasa. I saw Joho was with Sonko. And Sonko akigeti mtana anasema mimi sina hao watu anajifanya. These people, they're together. Mimi na wewe tunaongea sahi hapa, tunamaliza time yetu. Hata I hope kuna wengine hata hajakula kama mimi. But tunapigana vita kama yote. Lakini wale watu, they're good. Ile wakati Ruto akitafuta kura, mtoto wake yule ambao yuko behindered inaitwa nini na Kiswahili? Abnormal ama describe sijui itaje, na mimi Kizungu si nzuri. Huyo msichana wao akiingia kwa mtandaoni kila mali, sijui my father sijui nini. Sasa unamwona huyo msichana, unamwona sasa mtoto wake hata kwa mtandaoni, huwezi kumwona mtoto wa Sonko yuko mtandaoni. Kwa sababu wako wote England, Dubai. Mimi na wewe tunabaki tunapigana. And why? Kwa sababu ya ukabila. Sasa guys, it's not that namchukia Gachagua. Mimi yangu nitakumaliza nao ni hivi. Gachagua, he's in a mission. You guys have to be very careful about it. Gachagua ako na mission kumtoa Ruto. Na mimi kwangu mimi mission yangu ni kama tutapata mtu anamtoa Ruto, and that's it. Mimi nitashangilia as long Ruto is gone forever and ever, amen. Lakini Gachagua is also a bad person. Na nchi yetu imekuwa mbaya, na ni mbaya na uwezi kuamini. Yani si ile Kenya mimi najua, but tuvumilie, tupendane, tubaki na urafiki tulikuwa nayo as Gen Z. We are troubled and everything, lakini msimamini Gachagua. Gachagua anatembea sahi kwa hizo mainchi kwa sababu is looking for a vote. Memaliza, lakini
Alright.
na
All right, Latricia, thank you. Hemston, what do you have to say, sir? Let's start, guys. Live is in hand.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mine is to say that first and foremost, I would like to suggest to pose this question that about Rigathi Gachagua. In order for those who are supporting him, or those who think he means well for them, to maybe think otherwise. Of whose interest was Gachagua serving as the second in command? Of whose interest, or on whose interest was he as the deputy president, who was elected and would even, or in instance, or in case otherwise anything happened to the president, Gachagua would sit in the top seat as the president of Kenya. Of whose interest would he serve? My previous colleagues have spoken, and I would like to join a few words that Latricia and one of us has gone. That Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto are of the same blood politically. Rigathi Gachagua is as tribal as William Ruto. He is as ruthless as William Samoei Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua is as conman as William Samoei Ruto. Right now, he is moving all over. And let me not say all over, because there are certain parts that he cannot move to. He has found roots into Western. He has been invited by a few of his friends, and he can find roots there. That's why he's gone there to play some political division. And I have seen most of the Western people are getting into his conmanship and thinks that Rigathi Gachagua means well for them. While a few months ago, he was babbling negatively about the Western community. Right now, Gachagua is very desperate, and he is up to a mission, as my colleague has just said, that he wants to retaliate because Ruto has frustrated him. So he is also looking for means to counter Ruto. And that's why he has found a loophole in the Western part where he has a few colleagues.
Wait, kidogo tu. That conmanship yenye Rigathi analeta Western haiwezi shinda yenye Raila ametukon. Haiwezi shinda. Hiyo yake anakuja na ideas mzuri kuliko za huyo mzee. Continue.
Okay. Allow me to, I have not mentioned Raila anywhere. I am talking on Rigathi because the subject is on him. So we know Rigathi Gachagua very well. Maybe if you have other issues about Raila, you will speak it maybe when your time comes. But I'm talking about Rigathi and his personality, and if it can be a good factor for our country, and as a good lead, I mean, it can make good leadership. Most of us can recall that more of the issues that he was engaged in, one of them was the tribal issue, and that is one of the biggest factor that made him impeached, because most of the MPs, whether they were bought as maybe he proclaimed, but I do not think that entirely the entire country, most of these MPs did not, only voted against him based on that factor. And we saw how he was talking, how he was very careless on his tribal speeches, talking about shareholding.
Asante po, umonge ukweli hapo. True say. Sorry.
To me, guys, this country is very big. This country contains so many tribes, and that is why I posed this question: that of whose interest would he be serving? Because a few hours I was still on him, watching on TV how he was being interviewed on the western part, and he clearly stated that he was defending his people. I was defending the interest of my people. On that interview, he stated clearly that I was defending the interest of my people. You know, when you are a leader, you are elected by the entire country to serve the people of Kenya. The second in command, how would you come out openly and state to the people of Kenya that you are serving the interest of your people? That there is, you are advocating for a certain community where you belong. Is that not tribalism?
But
Yes.
they were the biggest shareholders, Bwana.
So sorry, Armstrong, can I answer
They were
this?
the biggest
Only 1
shareholders.
second. Give me a 1 minute.
Okay.
Unajua, mimi mwenyewe niliangalia hiyo interview, right?
Yeah.
This guy is just about my people, my people, my people. Hakuna mahali mimi nimesikia sijui Kenyans, Luo, Giriama, Mombasa. It's just my people. I defend my people. Ruto doesn't want my people. My people, my people. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. As I finished,
But
please
there was
allow
an
me
agreement. There was
Allow
an
me
agreement. Hata sisi hatukupata hiyo yetu. Sisi yetu tulivurutiwa
Okay.
chini because Ruto conned us again.
It is as simple as this, my friend. Even in a simple classroom, we elected, a prefect, and the prefect would not serve the interests of his friends. He would serve the entire class. You understand me? So you
But
cannot.
behind closed doors, he will be serving the interest
Don't
of his
tell me about
friends.
that. Don't tell me
No.
about that. He's there as the second in command, serving the entire country, not serving. Is Mount Kenya region. So okay, please allow me to finalize on this. What I am just suggesting is
1
the
minute,
solution.
kindly. 1 minute, kindly.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Thank you. I am only suggesting that the replacement for this, for the kind of leadership that we want should not be recycling these politicians. Let us go outside and look at, new faces. Maybe people like Maraga, I would not say that we should support him, but we know some people, certain faces that have represented the countries. They have got good leadership that we have seen in them. We can bring them on board and say that, okay, let's find, even at the grassroots levels, we know the kind of leadership that we want. We know the kind of leadership that we need for our country, and the people that have got the heart to serve solely the people that mean well for the entire country. So let us not go for these political leaders with who have got their own interest in politics and whatsoever.
Let me interject something small political arena. Hemston said that Gachagua was impeached because of it was in the interest of the country, but we saw public participation. Wananchi walikataa hiyo kitu, but MPs were bribed all over the country. Most places wananchi walikataa, mpaka hata Nyanza walikataa kwa Rigathi was not supposed to be impeached. But hapo napo unatudanganya. Don't lie to us because you want to. No. It's not good.
It is not like that. It is not as you are saying. everyone was against Rigathi Gachagua.
No. The public participation was there, Bwana. We saw it.
It was there. Exactly. The public participation was done. Maybe it was not done to your expectation or Rigathi's expectation, but it was done countrywide. And what we witnessed, the majority supported that if Rigathi Gachagua was to be impeached, then, I mean, they would both go. What does it mean? Most people suggested that Rigathi should go together with this boss. It means Rigathi is not a competent leader.
Oh, because they knew that there was injustice somewhere. Rigathi alikuwa anaonewa. That's why people thought Ruto was the biggest problem, not even Rigathi. And now you are turning to Rigathi. Rigathi was not the problem.
What Kenyans meant is that we are tired of both of them.
All right. Ness, are you there? Ness? Okay, Ness is not there. Let's give the mic to Royal Boy. Royal Boy, are you there, sir?
Thank you so much for the chance. You know, I've been listening to you. All of you have good points, and nyinyi mnasumbuka vile tunasumbuka na maisha ya Ruto. So what I would like to say is this, guys. We know our country. We were not born yesterday. We know constitutionally Gachagua can't run for any seat because he was impeached unless the court changed that. And also when we talk about like Gachagua is tribal, I just hear this like it's Ruto talking. Look what Ruto has done. You know, when you look, I want to compare you with Ruto and Gachagua. Look all the parastatals or oppositions as a government, utapata ni wakarenji wako wengi, almost 80% of them. So don't tell us like Gachagua is tribal. You know, let's be honest here. When Kibaki come to power, and you know, remember it was about Kibaki and Raila. You know, when you go to that high table, you have to be asked, what do you have to give us in terms of your region, in terms of your mobilization? So Gachagua, when he comes in, wakati Ruto amemchagua, ni ya kwamba he had more shares. You can just see the numbers from Mount Kenya. And Ruto knew he couldn't have chosen anyone from other parts of the country. Sababu kama angechagua mtu tuseme kutoka coast, angeleta nini? Ama achague mtu kutoka Kunyanza, angeleta nini? That's what we call shares. Any government you go, guys, we are a tribal. We cannot change that. Hata wewe upewe uraisi. That's mwangalie watu wako wamepata viti. Let's be honest with that one. We cannot change. We are not like Tanzanians. We are divided. And that's why, you know, thank God is out there to be opposition to speak about Ruto.
Yes, it's true.
No,
it's true.
Because what's going on there? No, but can you tell me, Raila angesema juu ya Ruto kwa sababu yako kwa serikali juu nini inaendelea? Gachagua is speaking like, you know, guys, if it's Western mkikuwa pamoja, you are more than 5 million. You will change this country.
Yes.
I'm not saying like, you know, that's not a tribal. It's just
yes.
The fact.
See, kuna kitu mimi nimesema, sorry guys, kuna kitu mimi nimesema. Hata kama atumpendi, mimi sijasema na muamini Gachagua. I know he's fake, lakini as long someone can come out and say the truth and to kick this idiot out, the KK, that is the most important here.
You see Gachagua is coming up, like we had at this manifesto ya kwamba watu wakihamishwa, we have to find a good place for them waende. So you see, when you talk about that, people wanasema is tribal. When you talk about wakati tulisema mambo ya manifesto ya kwamba is housing, watu hawa boda watu wa chini ndio watakuwa wanafanya kazi huko. Good Kenyans watakuwa na supply all materials. Look what's going on there. So when he come up with all that kind of, I don't see any tribal there. You know, even where I come from, if my tribe semi akomba iko 8 million people and I'm in the government, I have to take care of my people because we have a say in that government. Guys, we need to change our politics. We need to see it. Let us not think about the tribal line. Let us just see who can change our country to the better. So for me, I would just want to let you know, like Gachagua cannot run any seat. He's preparing for somebody, he's fighting for his people, for next government work. And if, don't forget, kwa hii economy ya Kenya, the most tribe ambao wana contribute much ni Wakikuyu. So the moment you affect their business, you affect the whole country. So for me, that's how I could say, I'm not a Kikuyu, by the way. I'm a Kisi, but I can see what's happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kevin, kindly, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Well, I agree with some of the conversation I've had, but some I do not agree. There must be a reason whether people were bribed or not. There must be a reason why Gachagua was impeached. We can't live as people who do not know what is happening, or people who are so blind to see this and say, oh, Gachagua did this, Gachagua did that. I'm one of the people that voted the last elections, and I've seen the former deputy president campaigning and talking about the things that are happening in Murima. And I got pissed, even before the debate of him being impeached. I got so pissed off because most of the times he would always speak about Murima and Sejio, all those things. And I am like, does this man understand his role as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya and not talk about the things that are happening in his village or where he's coming from, and talk about the things that are affecting the whole country? So I'm not an advocate of the government. I'm not an advocate of Ruto and say Ruto is a good person. No. But the thing here is, when we vote for the leaders, especially on the topmost senior post positions, we expect these leaders to speak on behalf of Kenyans, not to speak on behalf of where they're coming from. We do not care where they're coming from because we voted for them. So we expect them to speak on behalf of the Kenyans at large. So we can't stand here and or have crocodile tears for Gachagua and say, oh, the things that happened to him, oh, he's not being treated well. No. We say this. He was impeached. He's a former deputy president. We have the new deputy president and the government and the president. So we ought to support them and not being blindfolded that we are supporting them because we like them. No. As a citizen, as a person, as a Kenyan, we need to support the existing government. And so if we
are when it is messing up, we need to support. My brother.
No.
You are taking the wrong direction now. We can't support a government that is killing us.
The government that's abducting people and killing people.
I'm not saying we are supporting a government that is misleading us. I'm saying we need to open our eyes. I am not. Remember, I've said I'm not supporting Ruto. I'm not supporting Kindiki. Because the government exists, a country cannot.
Who's running the government?
Government is not run by.
You are double speaking.
What are you saying?
You are double speaking.
You are double speaking.
Yes.
We just give him time to get here.
He's contradicting himself. On the other hand, he's saying that he doesn't support Ruto. On the other hand, he's saying that we have to support the government of the day. How now?
When you interrupt him, you will not understand him. So just give him his time. Everyone has got his or her opinion. Whether he's supporting Ruto, we need to hear from him.
I am not totally supporting Ruto, but because he is my president, whether you go up, down, left, right, and center, he is the current president of the Republic of Kenya. When you leave this country and you go somewhere and someone asks you who is the president, you will say, it's His Excellency President Ruto. I'm not supporting him, but I'm just saying the things that I have seen Gachagua doing when he was the deputy president, I didn't like it at all. There is no single thing that I can speak about him, say, this is what he did or this is what he spoke about the country at large. And I have a track record of him speaking about Murima and all those things. You know what? So this is what I'm saying. We need to have leaders and people who are not tribalistic. People because they're coming from this region. You see, right now, Gachagua tends to give advice to people who are coming from Western Kenya. Like, what are you telling us? What are you telling people who are coming from the western part of region? Because they're second in numbers and so they're supposed to gather their votes. That is rubbish, according to how I understand. You need to tell us we need to have a leader that is not. If we have a Pokot, this. Okay. Thank you. Let me just finish this. If we have a person from let's say Pokot, I'm just giving that example because they're one of a tribe, one of a. I wish you could just.
Terminus kindly. Yeah.
Yes, good evening. Yes, I've been listening to your conversations. But kuna kitu nimesikia vizuri sana. Point ya Gachagua anajua kwa kazi gani anafanya. Number one, Gachagua is trying to fight for his space because he's the man impeached. Kama mtu ako impeached, unajua he must find a space where he can talk. Because saa hizi hawezi kimbia Kenya mzima ati anataka sijui nini, hakuna kitu ataweza omba saa hii. Hiyo ni number one. And his space is Mount Kenya. That's the fact. Akiachilia Mount Kenya ataenda wapi? Kwa hivyo wanataka akuwe na watu wake, akuwe na hiyo nguvu. Labda hiyo serikali yenye inakuja aseme mimi niliwapatia support yangu kutoka Mount Kenya, sasa I'm negotiating as a person who is prominent from Mount Kenya, ingawa hatakuwa kwa kiti ama hatakuwa kwa position yoyote. That's number one. But two, anataka kuambia watu waelewe hawa wengine. Hii ukabila hata mkisema namna gani, Kenya iko na ukabila, and that is why he is trying to make these people, other people understand, kwa sababu yeye amepitia. Sasa anataka wengine wajue hivyo. For example, venye anasema watu wa Luya anawakumbusha mko na kura mingi na mtu asikuja kuwatanganya. And that's the fact. Mtu asikuja kuambie unajua uko na uwezo wa kupiga kura, utaweza kupiga kura uchague kiongozi mzuri mwenye unataka. Lakini anataka kuwawanya nyinyi, aweke nyinyi nusu nusu, then again arudi kwa uongozi. That person anafanya kazi yake. Mimi sioni shida kwa Gachagua kufanya hiyo vitu anafanya. Kwa sababu the end result ni kutoa Ruto. Hata tukipata mtu yoyote, for example, mimi kuna kitu nafikiria. Nauliza, saa hii tuseme hakuna mtu anaongea kutoka Mount Kenya. Hakuna mtu anaongea kutoka Western. Hakuna mtu anaongea from tuseme Coast. Sasa tuseme we are looking for a leader. How can we reach that level kuchagua mtu mmoja? Inakuwa ngumu. No. Kwa hivyo ni lazima kutoka kila kitengo ama kuna kila sehemu lazima kiongozi akue. Na hiyo ni ukweli. Hata wewe ukiwa kiongozi saa hii, kuna mahali unatoka. Na hapo mahali unatoka, hao watu wako ndio wataweza fanya watu wengine wakuheshimu ama wakupatie nafasi ya kukaa kwa hiyo meza, ndio uongee na watu wengine. Ukabila ni ule mtu ataweza leta ukabila wa kuweka watu kama Ruto venye anafanya, anaweka watu kazi kutoka juu mpaka chini. Hii anafanya hii, that's tribal. Lakini kuongea na kuweka watu wenu pamoja, that's not tribal, kwa sababu you must have a ground to stand.
What's your point?
When you are...
What's your point, Terminus? What's your point?
Yes, my
You're
point.
repeating the same
Yes, my
thing.
point. Yes, my point is lazima kiongozi akuwe kutoka sehemu fulani na lazima mtu aongee kutoka kwao. Hiyo sio ukabila. Kwa hivyo Gachagua akiongea akiwa Mount Kenya si ati ako mkabila.
Yes. Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
there is what we call the presidency. Of all the slots of leadership, we have the MCAs, the MPs, governors, senators, women reps, and then we have the presidency.
Yes.
But when we were going through academics, we were told that the presidency is a symbol of national unity.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
So, engages the entire country.
Yeah.
Now, when a president or a deputy president would sit on that seat in case of the president, would take that seat whatsoever, speak or behaves in a manner that is favoring a certain community or his own tribe.
Yeah.
Does it becomes that does that make sense to you? Does it go in line with the symbol of national unity?
No, that's unjustified.
Does the behavior, character, and the tribal speeches that Rigathi Gachagua symbolizes the national unity brings peace to the entire country?
For one, a very good question. Kitu ya kwanza, wakati mtu anatafuta kura ni tofauti na wakati mtu amekalia kiti. That's number one. Number two, wakati mtu ako kwa kiti, presidency, you can never talk of your tribe. That's number one. But when you are campaigning, I tell you, most of the people tell their communities, please pack me. Then I go to look for other tribes.
Okay.
That is it.
Okay. Your time is up. Your time is up. We have to move. Joshua Weta, I think I should put a timer. Sindio, let me put a timer. Wekesa, are you there? You have 3 minutes. Joshua? Okay, Joshua is not there. MCA?
Yes, I am here.
MCA?
I am here. Can you hear me? Now, let me talk about our leader. Now, number one, I am a Kikuyu from Nakuru. And I have heard what Harmstone has said. I think it's on from the discussion, it's only Harmstone whose sentiments we can say they are against Gachagua. But number one, I want us to ask ourselves, what was the role or what is the role of a deputy president that is there in the constitution? Do we even have any role that is mandated for the deputy president? Second, when they were vying, it's not that we were voting for a deputy president. We were voting for the president himself. Now the deputy was the assistant. And number one, we have the deputy president came from Murima. So he was there to represent the grievances of all Mount Kenya residents. So we terming Gachagua as a tribal only because he represented us in the highest table. That wasn't the case. For example, we have now we also have the Wetangura, we have Musaria. They are two Luya members who should now. I want to ask, what would happen if today Musalia represents represents the grievances of the Waluya? Actually, majority of the people won't term him as tribal, just because Gachagua was representing the majority citizens in this nation. That was when now we termed him as tribal. He was only telling the truth. Mr. President, on our agreement was, if we get you a certain percentage of the votes from Murima, this is what we're going to get. Now, if we don't get what we were promised, so what do we expect from Gachagua? We actually supported William Ruto, and majority of you can agree with me that majority of the people who voted for William Ruto voted him for the effort that came from the deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. So I don't see any need of we terming Gachagua as tribal, and even based on the allegations for impeaching Gachagua, we can all be honest. That was zero. They had zero weight of impeaching a deputy president just because of representing his tribe. He is our kingsman. He is our kingpin. He was the only Kikuyu man holding the highest position. So if he represented us, I don't see any problem. We are not supposed to term him as tribal. We also need to check this list. How many people did Gachagua bring on the table to be in the government, unlike the president? I can see my time is up, but let us not term Rigathi Gachagua as tribal just because he represented his people who made him to be what he was then, the deputy president. If we, the Kikuyus, didn't vote the 47% that came from the mountain, William Ruto couldn't be the president.
MCA Foken, please just answer a simple question. What does the term presidency is a symbol of national unity? What does this mean to you? And then secondly, Ndindi Nyoro is the chairman of budget committee in parliament. And then we have Kimani Chungwa as the majority leader in parliament. What do you mean? And then we have so many other leaders who are in the cabinet from the same community. Then why do you tell us then that Rigathi Gachagua was the only leader that you have, that you looked up to as the community?
Thank you. Now, number one, the deputy president of Kenya, I wanted to ask you just a very simple question. From his terms, or from him representing the Kikuyus, where did he even go against, or how did he even cause that we can say now he violated any kind of the rules? Did he violate any constitutional mandate given to him by representing the Kikuyus? Did he violate any?
Yes.
Can
I tell you what he did?
Yes.
When a national leader, when the vice president comes out and say that, you see, this government is a shareholder and it is meant for those who voted for it. And for those who did not vote for it, now he is speaking directly to the
where there was
Yes.
750 billion budget
MC,
allocations for road construction, and
Mm.
350 billion went to Mount Kenya for the Mau Mau Road. Is that fair to you in the when you consider other regions?
Another
Talk about
reason as to
shareholding.
why another reason why Rigathi Gachagua was actually complaining is that you
Are we
you
flower
cannot
girls in this
be
debate?
setting
No,
facts
keep
aside.
quiet.
We cannot be setting. Allow me respond to Hamston.
Yes, we
kindly.
also
he's
want to.
You
we also want
cannot
to-
be setting
What is happening? What is
aside.
happening with the debate? Hamston, why are you profiling a
Kindly,
community?
let me.
Can we have an objective?
Now, Hamston, this is
Stop profiling communities on a platform.
But you don't.
Profiling a community. I'm
kindly.
talking about Rigathi Gachagua's personality and his shareholding.
I am trying to
Whatever.
respond to him.
I have not talked about a community. Have you heard me talking about
Can
any
you base
community?
your argument on the constitution principle?
I am talking about the shareholding factor that
Who is not a
Rigathi Gachagua is
tribalist? Who is not a
advocating for.
tribalist? Can you keep quiet, madam? Give us another
So-
person to go.
Now, Hamston, as I respond to you very quickly.
Have I mentioned
Let
any
me
community?
take.
Do you even know
No,
where I
no,
come
your-
from?
your
Do you even know? Have I called any community? I am talking about Rigathi Gachagua.
Now, yes, I get
And
you.
the
Now, let
subject
me
was
respond to
on-
you.
The subject was on
let me-
Rigathi Gachagua. So what
Tony.
nonsense are you saying that I'm talking about?
Tony, take the mic. Tony,
Bwana-
take the
Bwana,
mic.
let's be organized.
You cannot have two people take like
Thank you.
15 minutes. Yet you have so many. Yeah. If I
Thank you,
say
thank
your
you.
time
You know,
is
I was
up, you
wondering-
should respect that because we have so many people waiting for a guest. Okay.
Thank you. At least you've rescued us from the back and forth of Hemston and MC. So I want to go straight to the point about Rigathi Gachagua. I want to speak very honestly and boldly, as always. Rigathi Gachagua, I like the new Rigathi Gachagua. I didn't like the other one before. I don't believe Rigathi Gachagua was properly cut for politics. He doesn't know, he's not tactful. He didn't know when to stop and go ahead. And so he went back. He went back to the cocoon that is used to Murima. So he thought that the only way he can guarantee his place is fighting for where he's from. So Rigathi Gachagua before impeachment was all over Mount Kenya. He didn't want to explore Kenya. He didn't want to unite with other communities. He didn't want to lobby. Also, there's one reason that maybe he was incompetent in that area. He was not comfortable with the national image and national interest. So he's not a cut. He's not a proper cut and politician. But I like the new Rigathi Gachagua, speaking truth to power. I must say he's against Ruto. So as long as he's against Ruto, he's someone I resonate with. So in fact, he's the few bold politician who can speak directly to Ruto without fear or favor. Probably because Ruto knows him and he knows Ruto, he knows where to finya. So that is someone who I'd like to hear more because he's been corridor of power, the secret, the contracts. Of course, there was a rumors that they were disagreeing between certain deals, certain tenders, and money zenye wanaiba na gawana. So we need to have that information as citizens, so that we know what happens during in the corridor of power, and we gauge the kind of leaders we have. Are they leaders of integrity? Are they hii kizungu inakuwa ngumu. Ameungana na watu wa Mlima akawaweka pamoja, so is very attractive. Gachagua is a very good prospect. So every suitor want to pursue Gachagua in the appeal, so that the people of Mlima vote for them. So Gachagua has value. So Minister.
Thank you. We have Otieno Logistics. Thank you for keeping time. Otieno Logistics.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Political Arena, for giving me this ample time to speak with the platform owners. So, matters regarding Gachagua, I'll be very brief and to the point. Regarding Gachagua, people might be seeing him as he was playing his tribal card, but when his goose were cooked, is when he decided now to use the tribal card. So the real Rigathi Gachagua was when they were getting the power at Kasarani. But the humble Rigathi Gachagua is when he has now been impeached and he has now decided to master the rags of opposition. If today Rigathi Gachagua can speak of the people's deputy president, while Kindiki is just an employee of William Ruto. So dynamics of politics is very expensive. When Tinga was telling us that he's the people's president, they were very bitter, saying that Tinga is just a nobody. Tinga is just a pedestrian. Tinga is just a common mwananchi like Otieno Logistics. Now, he's now fighting the corridors of the public domain that is the people's deputy president. That one is a good gesture of politics that Rigathi Gachagua has decided to embrace because he was humbled by the impeachment. So I want to tell Rigathi Gachagua, if Rigathi Gachagua is a true patriot Kenyan, he should now decide to ignore William Ruto like plague and play his politics straight by consolidating his backyard, meaning the central Kenya. And then he will balkanize all the tribal Kakurus of Kalonzo. If he can get inroads to Western, and is when he can now think of maybe mistreating, frustrating, reducing Ruto. But if he will still balkanize himself, arrange himself, organize himself in only central Kenya, I tell you for a fact, he will not even be number 2 in election that William Ruto will run as a president. So my brothers and sisters, before I wind up, I sincerely advise Rigathi Gachagua that he should know that Kenya, when you are in government, Kenya is very big than an individual. Not that when he's in opposition is when he feels that Kenya is now big. Kenya is now big and he can now transverse Kenya. Thank you very much, members of this platform, for listening to me, minus any interruption. Thank you.
Otieno, we are already buying Gachagua's ideas.
Wewe Sangwenya, hakuna kitu nabai, wewe uko tu pale.
Acha ujinga.
Yeah, thank you, Political Arena. I'll just go straight. Thank you. Was the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua a solution to our problems in Kenya? The answer is definitely no. Rigathi Gachagua is just a consequence of a collateral damage that has been in the country since 1963. The issue of tribalism has been there from time without numbers. And I want to say this. It is true that Rigathi Gachagua is now trying to expose the rot that is in this administration. And we are very happy. And we would want Sundays to be coming every week. In fact, they should put even 3 Sundays so that he can tell us what this administration has been doing behind the door. Now, today we had over even the issue of being given 2 billion so that he could resign and so on and so forth. And you know, Ruto has not refused. So the truth of the matter is, Rigathi is not the very definition of tribalism in our country. Tribalism has been there since 1963. And even the head of state today is actually perpetuating tribalism in government. If you look at the parastatals, all these things that you are seeing around the appointments and so on and so forth, it is pure tribalism. During Uhuru's administration in 2013, there were only 2 communities that benefited. So all that I'm saying is, Rigathi is just a consequence of what has been ailing this country since 1963. And there's no way we can hold him accountable on the basis of trying to, expose the rot that is in government today. Let him continue channeling Kenyan so that Kenyan people can understand that when you walk into a polling station, you should have a state mind to vote, other than just voting like demagogues with emotions, without even thinking straight that you are voting somebody is a leader, not an activist like Otieno Logistic. So I want to, before I land, let us not profile communities. Let us not profile communities, but let us have an objective argument so that our friends can forge ahead and build our communities and our society in a more dignified manner. Thank you.
Activist Otieno Logistic.
Mr. Daniel,
Let's do
must you
let Kevin talk. Let Kevin talk, then you can counterattack. Mtakuwa mmeongea wote. So you can nini, si ndio? Hiyo ni sawa.
Sasa mtu aniite jina na ninyamaze.
Nyamaza wewe.
Yangu itakuwa
Kevin,
brief. Yangu itakuwa brief. So kama kuna fan wa Gachagua, same in advance. So nikianza going straight to the debate. Gachagua, if I am to compare Gachagua na his peers, the likes of Wetangula, DVD, Ruto, siasa yake bado iko nyuma sana. Huyu jamaa he has a long way to go. Mbona nasema hivyo? Kwa sababu Gachagua alikuwa one term MP, alafu akakuwa nominated kama deputy president. So politics zake it's very very short. So ni mtu tu alitokea out of nowhere, alafu akakuja into the political space, akashinda nini kuwa deputy president. So political nini yake mileage bado iko chini sana compared to his peers. So jamaa kuna very very many things to learn about politics. Kuna jamaa anasema hapa Gachagua is genuine. To me Gachagua is not genuine. Kwa nini? When he was in government hakuwa anaongelea hizi issues. Ile tu moment alitoka in government ndio tukaanza kusikia yo government this or government. So that guy is somebody who is just selfish, no? Eti ni mtu tunaweza tegemea ati kila kitu anasema ati ni ukweli. Hizo mbona hakusema when he was in government? Ile ni question mingi kama critics wake tunauliza. Kitu ingine namaliza tu. Kitu ingine Ruto alikosana na Gachagua. Unaona? Ruto akukosana na Kikuyu community. Kama unaelewa politics in a logical mind, emotion, Ruto alikosana na Gachagua. Impeach Gachagua kwa sababu wakuelewana on certain things. Sijui ongelea kwa niaba ya Ruto, but I don't think Gachagua Ruto ali impeach the Kikuyu community. But the problem is when a community rally behind certain leader kama Gachagua, hapo sasa inakuwa misleading. Na mimi naona ana mislead Kikuyus, atawapeleka opposition, na mnaweza kwa opposition for a very long time. Gachagua as a leader si mtu focus, and ana direction ya kukupeleka. Is a selfish person. Ndio maana nawaambia akikuwa government alikuwa anaongea, alikuwa ananyamaza, akitoka yeye anaongea. So Kikuyus to rally behind Gachagua is so misleading. Alafu Gachagua hata ukiangalia impeachment yake ni somebody alitolewa hata with his own people wanatoka the same region, walimuimpeach. Hata huyo jamaa mwenye useneta mwenye ako naye huyu wa Kisii huyu, that guy also impeached Gachagua. So Gachagua politically he has a very 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 low, very many things and a lot to learn kabla ajikuja kwa table azinakuja sasa ajite kama kingpin from a certain region. But mimi si bias, sione mtu, nasema tu statistically vitu nimeona from my point of view mambo ya Gachagua.
Okay, coach. Kikuyus leaning towards Gachagua is misleading, but you are leaning towards your man, William Ruto, which is not misleading. My friend, you are also tribal, and you are also talking about tribalism here. Or mimi ndio nasielewi vizuri. What are you trying to explain? Then another thing is, are you sure that Musalia or let me say Kindiki, wangekuwa deputy president, then they have been impeached? Do you think those people can go out and speak the way Gachagua is speaking? Are you sure they can speak? They can talk arrogantly, elegantly, like that? My friend, no.
Stop
Some things you are
misusing
lying.
terms, Buanati. Do you know the meaning of elegantly?
You see, the fact
My
that
friend, stop misusing terms here,
Gachagua is
Mluya Wewe.
talking elegantly, Rotieno. But Gachagua is talking elegantly. We love him.
Anti-elegant.
We love him. We want him to talk more. We don't know what Dr. Daniel has said, that we need more Sundays.
But he's
Because
not
we
a
love
genuine
him.
person. When he was in
the
government,
fact that Gachagua is exposing the government and talking everything about the government while out of power doesn't mean that he is now baptized and has changed from so
that's exactly the point.
the same person.
What
when
Gachagua is saying, even Raila has never told us. Leave
why are
alone
you
even alone
I
these
am not
other
talking
politicians.
about Raila. If you have a personal
No
issue
other
with
politicians has ever said that.
Yeah, I am seeing the topic is about Gachagua. If you have personal issue with Raila, go and find him wherever.
No, I'm just giving an example. I gave an example of Mudavadi. I gave an example of Kindiki. I'm giving an example of Raila. Why are you so offended?
I am not offended. I'm just asking you.
I give example of all these people.
Buana Raila has really exposed many things in Kenya.
What
The
has
rot
he
in
ever
Kenya, I
said?
think, has really exposed.
What has he ever said? He has never gone deeper.
You see, some of us talk about ethnic profiling, but the bigger, I mean, the person who is contributing to ethnicity is Rigathi Gachagua. He goes to Western, divide them against their Luo colleagues.
No. He has never done that.
For a long time.
He just told us to unite. But he told us to unite. He never divided us. He told us to unite so that we can have a bigger share on the negotiating table. He never told us to divide. Gachagua is just telling us the truth.
The fact of, I mean, the issue of shareholding, the issue of shareholding does not.
We can't be backing a minority tribe. Luyas are many, but you are being taken advantage of.
Who is taking advantage of you?
Raila has been taking advantage of us for years now, misleading us that uongozi itatokea sijui huko kwa ziwa. That's nonsense.
You see, your problem is with Raila, not even
no,
with
but
you.
it's mtu wetu. It's not a problem. It's the person we have been supporting. What's the problem?
Can I say something again? Was the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua a solution to our problem in Kenya as a country? The answer is definitely a big no.
Dr. Daniel, can I answer you?
Let me just finish. Was the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua the biggest problem?
Hiyo kitu ulishatuambia, sasa bado na repeat namna gani?
Keep quiet. You know.
Can you go and justify your point?
You are not my equal.
You have said that is a big no. Justify.
It's a big no. So
kwani wewe ulikuwa Ruto ndiye alikuwa na agenda, because Ruto ndiye alikuwa alimweka running mate.
If there is something that Kenya are now trying to grapple with, was the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, because there is no guiding principle to control him right now that is out of government. Just like what you see Muturi is doing right now. Muturi has limitation of castigating the government because he's still serving under the purview, he's still within the purview of the government mainstream. But Gachagua is outside, so he has no control. And I think Ruto, that was the biggest headache, because whoever advised President Ruto and his cabals to impeach Rigathi Gachagua was the biggest blunder that they will continue grappling with for the rest of their regime. Uhuru had an option of impeaching Ruto, But why do you think Uhuru left
Dr. Daniel, you're misleading people. Uhuru will not impeach Ruto because impeachment inataka people in parliament who will support your motion. So Uhuru anaweza taka, he wanted to impeach Ruto, but sasa in parliament angekuwa na hiyo opportunity. But Gachagua had no numbers in parliament.
But
Majority of the MPs were against him. He had no support.
Uhuru, if Uhuru wanted to impeach
This narrative
Ruto,
that Uhuru could impeach Ruto, it was impossible.
It was impossible, and ODM.
Mr. Koech.
Ruto had numbers.
Mr. Koech. Do you know that Uhuru Kenyatta was just a coward?
Yeah,
he could impeach Ruto as very in an easy way like Yam, because he succeeded in removing majority leader, that man called Duale. He succeeded in removing the likes of Murkomen.
Otieno,
and
do you know the
House
procedures of
Raila
impeaching
balanced
a
at that
person?
time. So removing
Do
William
you know the
Ruto at that
procedures
time was
of
very
impeaching
easy.
somebody?
I
The
tell
reason
you.
why Ruto never impeached Ruto.
What are you saying, Bwana? Keep
Uhuru never
teach.
impeached Ruto. He knew the consequences.
Because he was a coward. Uhuru alikuwa muoga, angemtoa
he
tu.
knew the consequences.
Juu he had
He knows
both
psychology.
houses. Alikuwa ameshapatiwa top up. Tinga alimpatia top up, angemtoa tu. But since that alikuwa ameogopa Ruto, that's why he could not. But Ruto inakaa alikuwa amedharau
Ruto alikuwa na
Gachagua.
MPs behind him. Gachagua was
MP wa
there.
gani?
MPs wa gani wewe na Murkomen alitolewa
Naked.
kama yeye ndio.
Niambie
Bwana dude,
MPs.
are you aware that in Senate Kindiki was the speaker?
No, si
Are you
ujinga
aware?
sana. Procedures of impeaching somebody iko na procedures. It's something, it has a procedure. Hata kama inaku-irritate lakini
My friend, those days Uhuru had all it takes to impeach Ruto. It's only that
inapitia
Uhuru was
parliament
coward.
alafu inapitia senate. That's a procedure.
Acha nyamaza, Otieno anipiganie leo.
Si ati nakupigania. Sinakuambia tu ukweli. Mimi nasemaga ukweli.
At least
leo
tuko
nakupigania.
pamoja.
Uhuru unajua ndiye alitumislead, tukampatia watu wetu wote. Na alikuwa muoga zaidi, Chebukati pia mkanunua, mkatuosha huko Bomas. But William Ruto, being that William Ruto is a strong man, ali bite the bullet na akachukua Rigathi Gachagua nyumbani tu wa Munyoro Express.
So the question was, the last was, what is the way forward? Apart from the leaders that have shown interest that they want to run for the presidency in 2027. We have Kalonzo and these other ones. For the Kenyans, what is the way forward for us to get the right person who is going to lead and give a more dignified, good governance and transformative agenda for our country? So it is incumbent between you and any other person to vote with a mindset that is...
yeah. Dr. Daniel. Yeah, ndio nakwambia Dr. Daniel, that person you're asking for, we don't really have that person yet. He's still the guy who is in the seat.
No, there are people who have shown interest.
Refusing to love him, we hate him.
Those people who have
He's the
shown
person.
interest
He has to
have
do the
no
thing he's supposed to do.
capacity to dethrone William Ruto.
Dr.
Kalonzo, my friend, fall below the par. Rigathi Gachagua is a tainted man, despite the fact that he's talking truth for Gravin. Those truths are only left for Gravin and his acolytes.
Otieno, I want to challenge your thinking.
Yes.
Ruto has gone. Ruto is going home. As long as the mountain has gone, you cannot speak of a powerful Ruto. Ruto has nothing except for segment of Rift Valley.
And you know this narrative that Ruto is going to retain the presidency in 2027 is just a fallacy. It's just a narrative that is being perpetuated by a few characters who are acting as like Otieno logistics, who go to State House at night and come out in the morning that they are the saints. So we want to tell them
Continue telling us. Continue
I think
telling us, living in a denial.
We want
if
to
we are
tell
going
that.
to vote, if we are going to see the same political class, then we should not underrate Ruto. If we are going to see the same political class like Rigathi Gachagua,
Ni
Kalonzo
watu ndio watatoa Ruto bwana. Wacha
Watu
nikwambie.
wagani? Those people
Hata
must
wakisema
revolve
Ruto,
around leaders.
hata wakisema Ruto anasimama na
Wewe
ng'ombe. Na
Gravi
watu
ni
wasimame
Mluya
nyuma ya
mgani
ng'ombe.
atakupeleka kwa hiyo debe ya Rigathi? Na
Itamtoa,
interest yako itakuwa ni gani? Rigathi ndiye akikuwa running flag bearer.
Unajua
Siasa ya
Otieno,
Kenya is very expensive.
Otieno, hii confidence ilifanya tukaweka red carpet hapo KICC na tukapoteza. So please, relax.
Si wewe unajua mbona tulipoteza?
Sasa
William Ruto alimanage only to buy Chebukati. The only reason why we failed is one. The electoral body was bought in wholesale. Chebukati ndugu yako alipewa kuku.
Otieno, but William Ruto, when he was buying Chebukati, he had numbers. But right now,
there were no numbers.
No,
numbers were fixed by the returning officers of all the constituencies. William Ruto had no numbers, my friend. Kumbe wewe ulikuwa na sisi na ulikuwa unaimba sana ile side.
Hapana, alikuwa na numbers.
Only fools like you can believe that William Ruto at that time had numbers.
But right now hana numbers. Rift Valley hana numbers. V Central. Sasa Western hana numbers. Uko kwenu ni wewe tu ndio unamtetea na wengine wametoka.
Gravi, nani ana numbers?
Ruto hana numbers sasa. Yako na numbers wapi?
Nani ana numbers?
Juko kwetu Western hapati. Sisi tunasikizanga tu.
Kama uchaelewa ile definition ya Oburu Odinga akisema sasa tuko na system, ndio hii sasa. Hii ndio sasa tuko na system sasa.
Gravin, you know right now we are doing politics. When 2027 comes, we will be doing campaign. Right now what we are doing now is called politics. But when 2027 comes, the campaign.
Nataka kuadvise Koech na Kipkendek niwaambie kama kuna kura msiye hesabu, hata Otieno logistic atakwambia hapa, and I'm telling you as a Luo, do not count kura Wajaluo, Wajaluo atapigia Ruto. Do not count. Ingekuwa
hiyo ni uongo Tony. Hiyo ni uongo Tony. Kura ya Mjaluo ndio unaweza hesabu.
Unaweza hesabu.
We have the kura ya Mkikuyu ndio uwezi hesabu. We have demonstrated it in 2002 when you were total at that time. We voted for a wheelchair man almost to a man.
I want to tell you that
sasa kura ya Mjaluo uwezi hesabu aje, and we have demonstrated it.
Tony, if you look
Raila hawezi simama. Acha nikwambie, Raila hizi enda hata sehemu kama Siaya, alafu ambie watu wapige Ruto kura. Hawezi. Hiyo nakwambia leo kama Mjaluo anatoka Siaya. Hawezi. Forget about it. Kama ingekuanga ni Central tungekuwa tunaongea about anything else. Lakini Luo Nyanza,
mimi nashangaa like
let me tell you, Tony, let me tell you, the last election, how many voters did we have?
Wewe Daniel uko na usawishi gani? Do you have any capacity?
How many voters were on Napa in Nyanza?
Wewe hata unaweza ni convince nipigie mtu kura wewe Daniel ukiwa na Tony. This small man.
Nataka kuambia wakale wako hapa. Ile ni
Wadanganya wakale na wataambiwa.
We are going to see the same
players. Haki ya Mungu msidhani ati mmemanage ati mmeshashika Wajaluo kwa box. Wajaluo watapiga Ruto kura.
If we are going to see the same players. If we are going to see the same players.
Wajaluo
Tony unasema Wajaluo watapiga kura.
Ndiye Rwanya sae hawatapiga.
Tony anasema kitu ajui.
Tony. Ajui ni perception tunauza. Kupiga kura ilikuwa 92. Sasa hii hakuna kupiga kura. Wewe unapiga tu kama upeana media tu piga kura.
Kujidanganya tu.
Piga kura hesabu iko kingine. Sasa mimi mkale nikufunze ile ya Kamago tena.
Yani huko nikwambie. Grevin Kipkendek anajaribu kusema
Are you trying to say Kipkendek, are you trying to say that you support rigging?
Sikia kwanza, sikia ni point. Sikia ni point. Ati Ruto mali yuko pale Rift Valley, ataenda pale Siaya aibe kura, ataenda pale Murang'a aibe kura, ataenda pale Western aibe kura, then ziweke pamoja then ashinde.
Lakini Tony.
Wapi?
Tunafaa tutafute
itafanyika wapi?
Better leaders.
Hizi kura zitahesabiwa police station.
Wewe Tony vile umesema hivyo.
Hao watatua
better leaders when you lead Kenya. Hiyo tu ndio tunasema.
Don't tell us that you are going to rig an election because
kwani kumekuwa na election Kenya kweli.
Itafanyika wapi?
Tony,
itafanyika
wapi? Tony, unajua watu
na election Kenya ni hesabu tu umepigiwa. Wanategemea tunasoma kalenda ya kitambo.
Wanategemea rigging. Wanadhani Ruto is too powerful. Ruto is a certain small god somewhere mwenye hawezi kuzwa. Yani Ruto is someone mwenye akisema left and left, no one can come between his way. You will be surprised, guys.
Unajua
Gravin.
You will be surprised.
Unaona kitu Ruto amesabia ati amepatia Waganda, ameenda kupatia Waganda kura wakanini, ameenda pale Burundi akapatia tu kura. My friend, before election ile voting itafanyika kwa hizo my state zetu na hiyo laini yenye watu watakuwa hapanga.
Tuangoje waone.
My friend.
Lakini Tony tunataka leader.
Wewe Tony,
tuangoje waone.
Tony, are you in a slumber?
Tuaje mambo.
Otieno logistic. You know the problem with you is that you think people throw stones every day. We are not.
I have no problem, Bwana. Can you wrap the name of doctor and put it just a mere Daniel? Because I'm not seeing any doctorate in you.
Let me tell you something.
From where I sit, do you have any capacity to mobilize Otieno Logistics to go and vote on your way? The answer is zero.
I am not on TikTok to be popular.
Wewe hiyo kiti yako ya unatafuta huko Mombasa, count yourself. Huwezi pata. Tunatafuta kiti Mombasa senator.
Let me tell you something, Otieno. Just comment about what is within your sphere. Don't comment about Mombasa because you don't know the nature of politics around Mombasa. So keep off. Okay, what I'm saying is
my friend, you are a small man in Mombasa, Bana. You are very small in Mombasa. You have not even reached the stature of Awiti Bolo. You have not reached that stature.
Otieno ni hekla tu.
Otieno
ni hekla ana
no problem, but
Dr. Daniel, what I can tell you.
The beauty is that the facts are very stubborn than fiction. That's the beauty.
Dr. Daniel, if you are buying in Mombasa, kindly send me a DM. Send me a DM. I think there's something you can do.
No problem.
Wenda we Tony sasa unataka kusangwenya mtu hata ana kitu.
The problem
Daniel has nothing.
Otieno is a non-heckler.
Yeah, he's a non-heckler, you know.
I have no problem with heckling. Heckling is part of politics because when somebody is talking about nonsense, you heckle him, you put him down, you pull him, you slip him.
Unyimwe stall. Unajua hii stall ndio inafanya ukiwa arrogant hivi.
Stall gani?
Yenye unataka kupewa huko Madara.
Grevin.
Oh, yes,
Madara. Ni rahisi. Ongoja kwanza, swali yangu ni hivi. Nataka Otieno Logistics ambie Koech na ambie Kipkendek. Hakuna mali Ruto anaenda 2027.
No, you see
mimi siwezi mwambia hivyo. Juu William Ruto.
Unajua Otieno amegopa kumwambia.
Kuna kitu alitufanyia.
Kuambia Kipkendek na Koech. Otieno amegopa kuambia Kipkendek na Koech because hataki kuoffend baba na hiyo alignment ya
baba. Baba is not going to do
ukweli hapa.
Don't talk about Baba because Baba currently is the AUC chairman designate.
You think you're going to throw stones? There are no stones in Addis Ababa.
Unajua Tony takes me back to the time when tulikuwa 2022 election yenye tulieleza watu William atakuwa president. Tulishinda bwana, mimi niko Canada. Endelea watu huyu mtu.
Kushinda mkushinda wewe Kipkendek. Mulishinda nani ama mulinunua Chebukati? Mulishinda nani? Kipkendek mulishinda nani?
Otieno Logistics relax. Nikisema
sisi mulishinda nani? Atunatuambia
mulishinda. Na kama wewe si mtu wa vita.
Sema muliiba. na mukashindwa hata kugovern, mukatuita.
Sasa si
Mukadecide kutuko. Wewe unatuambia ati mulitushinda. Sema you used the orthodox means to obtain power.
Orthodox means that's the word. Now we're not gonna use it again. It's gonna be the same fucking thing, man.
Wacheni kwanza
William ameshaambia kitambo sana.
wacheni Kipkendeka ongea.
If you wanna save your feet,
Ruto is going to be president of the Republic of Kenya. So as we speak, you must know that the central Kenya hamuna.
Unafanya nini?
So wewe hata ufai kuleta mdomo yako hapa.
The 2020 predictable, very predictable. If it was William Ruto against someone else, William Ruto could have lost. But now it was William Ruto versus Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Baba cannot lead this nation bana. Baba naye tu angepata hii kitu bana.
Sasa hiyo ndio ujinga yako. Hiyo ndio ujinga yako.
Hata baba tulimpea kura mingi sana.
Hiyo ndio ujinga yako wewe MC.
MCA nani amekwambia baba anaenda kusimama?
Anajiita MCA wa wapi?
Nasema 20 naongea na
nani amekwambia baba anaenda kusimama?
Sorry nasema the 2022 election was very good.
Uli nani huyu bana?
Guys,
na sasa nyinyi mlipatia Ruto mko wapi? Nyuma ya tent.
Personally, I am not. Itabidi utuambie, are you attacking or defending?
Mwenye alikuwa anatutisha sisi.
Mimi huwezi ni understand because siwezi kana mtu ananiambia ati baba angeshinda na anajua vizuri what happened. First of all, anafaa kuanza by apologizing on what they did.
What happened?
And what if Baba fails to grab the AUC? Are you going to summon characters in Addis Ababa? Because definitely, you know, I've told you time without numbers of Addis Ababa, there are no stones. So you must be disappointed.
Ngoja kwanza, MCA anajaribu kusema ati baba anaenda kuvai 2027. Yeye alisikia wapi?
Wewe ndo huku nipata nimesema. Otieno amesema maneno ya 2022 bila Chebukati sisi na nani. Nikamwambia the 2022 election was predictable. It was predictable that Baba was going to lose. So him telling us of Chebukati.
Sasa wewe uko wapi? Baba lost the election. Where are you?
Oh, that one is clarified. You may clarify iko sawa.
That was what I want.
Turudi kwa Koech na Kipkendeka. Nyinyi mnadhani Ruto atatoa kura wapi? Tuambieni tu kweli.
Okay. Personally, I don't support Ruto. But based on nyamaza kwanza huyo jamaa watujibu hawa.
Emston hujauliza swali.
Relax.
Usikue na kelele. Nataka Kipkendeka atuambie na Koech.
Wewe Gravin, wewe pia unatusumbua.
Ruto Kipkendeka na Koech, Ruto atatoa kura wapi?
First of all, ask Otieno on logistic. Where is he going to throw stone in Addis Ababa?
Wacheni Otieno tena pumzika.
Wewe dadi wewe.
Kipkendeka na Koech atuambie
kutoa kura, it's about perception. Vile ule mwana Turuta akisema ati Wakikuyu they will never vote for a foreigner. William akaenda tu soko after soko. Sahi vile mwana tu ameenda Western Nyanza. Hiyo ni hesabu yenye.
Why are you commenting about
Western hakuna kura?
Why are you commenting about William Ruto?
Don't even go to. Sindio nasema?
Kweni respectful. Wacheni Kipkendeka aongee. Tafadhali.
Hatutaki kura yako wewe jamaa Mluya wewe Mjaluo ama nani? We just self perception and then hesabu iko huko mbele. Wewe kwani kumekuwa na election Kenya ya
the kind of characters you are supporting. I'm disappointed.
Kama unalala hapo.
So president mwenye for certain tribe. As we mbona we have to highlight that problem. But serikali inafaa isaidie everybody. Another thing about 2027 itategemea nani yenye Ruto atago against. Kama itakuwa against tribal lines, I think mtaelewa tu venye kutaenda, but you have a good leader first, maybe we'll be talking about changing Kenya. But kama ni hizi
unajaribu ongoja kwanza. We kitu kipendika nasema kura ya MCA itakuwa sawa, kura ya MP itakuwa sawa, kura ya women representative itakuwa sawa, kura ya senator itakuwa sawa, kura ya governor itakuwa sawa, lakini kura ya president itafanywa computer. Ama unasema aje? Ni hivyo
hapo sasa. Ni hivyo
kabisa. Enyewe ni mimi na coach kuna support hiyo
inaenda tu.
Umesema ya president itapepea kwa hewa, lakini ya MCA ya nani wote itakuwa tu sawa.
Ile unakataa tu. Si mlikuwa mlalia Jose Kamago juzi after kushindwa. Wewe coach watana hiyo ujinga yako.
Unajua hii
kwa nini ulikuwa na complain nini? Ulikuwa na complain Jose Kamago. Hapo ndio tunamalizia. Na kwamba
unajua ni Chebukati ndiye alileta Jose Kamago, na unajua Maraga akiletwa
kabisa. Ukip Kendeka amenichekesha bwana, nimecheka kabisa. Yaani kura MC itapigwa tu sambamba kama ni people out of 500 na polling station ni sawa. Kura ya MP itafanywa hivyo vile vile. Kura ya senator itafanywa ya governor, lakini ya president itakuwa 300% because lazima Ruto ashinde.
Ile akibaki ilikuwa 101
na kaenda mbele mpaka Thomas.
Nani aliwaambia Ruto atashinda?
No.
Utashinda na wapi?
William alisoma hii game kitambo. Ile time alikuwa anapigania Akwambo ndiye akachua yenyewe hizi vitu. Usipige kura. Hizi vitu ni kukuja kupiga kelele hapa mbele. Na unamaliza na naenda naye. Easy. Wewe piga kura tu na kelele zako huko chini. Waste of time.
Hata nicheke bwana. Bwana wakaendaje mwana movie mingi. Sikura inaisanga watu wanapiga kura kwanza. Alafu nyingine inafanya unga top up baadaye kama ni 100,000 ama 200. Lakini hii yenyewe ya kufanywa digital ya pande zote sijaiona.
Lakini Tony on a serious note.
Hii perception ya Tony ile tu walikuwa nauza wakale kama watu wa kwenda shule from wakati wa Moi nini. Kama upendi Ruto chikasa na Gachagua yako.
Tony on a serious note.
Akishinda
on a serious note. Ruto anajaribu kuleta equality kama watu wanaona hiyo story.
Bwana nimesikia Gachagua anawapinya sana bwana.
Ruto anajaribu kuleta equality.
Lakini mimi niko na swali.
Ruto anajaribu kuleta equality.
Ngoja niko na swali.
Anajaribu kuua ile
niko na swali.
Ile at the time anaunda
niko na swali.
Ana spread kila mahali.
Niko na swali.
Ndio maana wapengo wanapinga.
Niko na swali moja. Kepkondek niko na swali moja. Mbona sasa tuongee tu sasa hii nini inataka mnieleze, naweza kuwa wrong. Mbona wakale hawajui kitu inaitwa governance?
Yeah.
Governance aje
hii
bro, na
governance nimeona
nimekuambia
imewachanganya sana.
nimekuambia
Mnaingia kwa serikali
you
naona
know,
it
mnahangaika
is the first
sana.
time
Tony,
for a
Hamna
president
Tony is
governance,
trying so
hamna
much.
watu
for a very
wale.
long time kufanya
Tony,
equality
acha
Kenya.
nikuulize
For a very
swali.
long time equality imeonekana Kenya.
You know,
Ukiangalia Uhuru
nijibu Tony.
hakufanya equality sana. Kibaki
Tony.
alikuwa na plans za venye future itakuwa. Kwa sasa Ruto amejaribu kufanya equality. Hata unajua. Ni venye hata sasa hii watu wanashangaa nenda kufanya ni Mandera. Ule mwana Mandera.
Koech, ngoja nikuulize hadi.
Kipkendek.
Ngoja niulize Koech.
Unajua Kipkendek ile kitu inanisumbua. Ile
You know, hiyo swali ya Tony.
Ile kitu inanisumbua tu ni moja.
I do college in don't understand like.
Ngoja Kipkendek. Kipkendek ile swali inanisumbua ni moja. Unajua for the first time.
Yeah, Tony, like you asked me why college in
it doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. Hiyo story.
Canada in around
Koech niongea na Kipkendek.
Listen to me.
Asa niongea na Kipkendek. Kipkendek ile swali nilikuwa nauliza vizuri, nataka uelewe vizuri na mtu asichukulie kwa ubaya ama nini. Nimeona naweza kuonyesha government ya Kibaki uone, nikuonyeshe mtu kama Michuki mwenye alishika ministry akanyorosha. Naweza shika government ya Kibaki ni kuonyesha Nyang' Nyong'o, huyo ni Mjaluo. Naweza shika just any other side. Nimeona venye wakaleo mingekuwa hii government, nimeona wamestruggle sana na hii kitu inaitwa governance. Yani hakuna mtu wako strategic, hakuna mtu wako, there's no proper thinker in this government mwenye za nyorosha serikali na everything is shike na everything work. Shida ni ugani.
Serikali si wakale na Wakikuyu jameni. Mbona mnaingilia kitu?
Yeah, ndio nashanga jamaa is just trying to back up his own statement.
Uru zamani
Just backing up his own.
Uru zamani ilikuwa nayo. Uru atakuwa in history as among the worst presidents yenye Kenya tulikuwa nayo.
Bwana ningekuwa admin ningesha mute.
Wezi angalia from private.
Koech na Kipkendek.
I know you are bitter with what I'm saying. This government for the last 20 years has been consistently Kikuyus and Kalenjins. Why are you just on Kalenjins? Why are you just
Kipkendek kujibu swali yangu?
Because he's a Kikuyu guy.
Kipkendek kujibu swali yangu.
Why are you just
Kipkendek kujibu swali yangu?
Because he's a Kikuyu guy.
Kipkendek kujibu swali yangu.